Now at 7, we're learning new information about what led up to Border Patrol agents shooting 2 people here in Portland. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live with a look at the court documents. Plus,
people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force.
President Trump backing down from his threats against Greenland at the World Economic Forum as he and several other world leaders come together to form the new border of peace. We'll have a look at what was said at today's first meeting coming up in our national headlines.
And we are live at the Moda Center this morning talking about Portland's new WNBA team, the Portland Fire. Thomas Schultz joined us later with when their season opener will be and how you can get some tickets. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to be here
Welcome!
with you. I'm sure you're probably more excited than
My
I
voice
am.
thanks you.
I'm sure it does. I'm very thankful for the weather. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis are standing by for a look at the weather and traffic. Rod, I keep being told not to get used to this.
Yeah, all the sun, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure you've been like, man, this is very sunny climate. Here's our Salem sky camera. We're going to get treated to some morning sun today, but then cloudiness will roll in going into the afternoon, which will actually hold temperatures down lower later today than what we have been seeing. Here's a look. That is a blue sky for the most part over the state capitol, and that is frost on the Capitol Mall lawn there. 24 degrees. Again, another very cold, frosty start. There's a cool look at the partly cloudy skies over the Interstate Bridge from the Vancouver the Springs at the waterfront camera. 22 degrees. Yeah, that's cold and frosty. And then looking from the top of the Wells Fargo building at Mount Hood, again, partly cloudy skies and 29 out at PDX this morning. So to the bus stop we go. We're generally in the 20s, frosty conditions, some morning sun. Could be overcast as soon as noon, or if not that quickly, soon after. And I think we'll be cloudy and about 43 when the kids get out of school later today. It will stay dry. Here's Chris.
So frosty out there this morning that over on the east side, beneath that low cloud lockdown, the Sherman County School District calling it a day, right? Because of icy roads and freezing fog. Also, I'm not sure if this is weather related, but Corbett schools having a water problem. They outlined that yesterday. So all schools in the Corbett district closed today. All right, back to your freeway drive. There's the I-5 commute from Clark County. Certainly getting a little bit busier at the Interstate Bridge. 15 minutes now gets you in from Main Street to I-405. Elsewhere on the drive times, not bad from Wilsonville just yet. Your inbound Sunset commute, 26 coming in from Hillsborough. That's up to 17 minutes and building. But so far, no freeway crashes, no unexpected freeway delays just yet. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. The driver shot by Border Patrol agents earlier this month in Southeast Portland has been denied bail.
On Wednesday, a federal judge ordered 33-year-old Luis Nino Moncada to remain in custody. Newly released documents show what happened from the driver's perspective. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live outside the federal courthouse with a breakdown of the case. Corey.
That's right, Matthew. China. Nino Moncada is now charged with aggravated assault of a federal officer and depredation of federal property. Now, he's pleaded not guilty to both of those charges. Federal prosecutors say back on January 8th, while taking his partner to a medical appointment, Nino Moncada weaponized his vehicle during a targeted stop. Officials say he hit an agent with his truck in the parking lot of the clinic and repeatedly rammed an empty Border Patrol vehicle. Court documents also include photos of the damaged car and what Homeland Security has referred to as a targeted mission. But the documents also show new insight from defense attorneys saying the government has not shown that Nino Moncada meant to assault an officer versus just trying to escape, and that his only prior criminal charge was a DUI. Prosecutors in the case accused Nino Moncada of driving directly at the agent again, saying that's when the agent fired the shots, hitting Nino Moncada and his partner. They drove off and called 911. This is a clip from that call.
Caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
And prosecutors say Nino Moncada illegally entered the U.S. in 2022. He was then arrested in Colorado a year later in order to appear on a removal proceeding, but they say he failed to show up for that. His criminal trial is set to start in March. Meanwhile, the Oregon DOJ is launching their own formal investigation into the shooting. Matthew, China.
Our Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Thank you, Corey. The Department of Homeland Security says a federal agent fired his weapon during an immigration operation in the Los Angeles area yesterday. Federal officials say agents were trying to arrest a man who they said was a violent criminal from El Salvador. They say he tried to run from immigration officers and hit law enforcement with his car. A federal agent then fired shots at the man, who was not injured. He was then taken into custody.
And he was walking out, and then as soon as he went inside his car, that's when, like, I guess they tried getting him out the car, and he tried running away in his car. But then that's when they shot him, like they shot like twice.
DHS says one Customs and Border Protection officer was injured in the operation. They did not comment on his condition.
An internal memo obtained by the Associated Press shows that ICE told agents they can forcibly enter people's homes without a judge's warrant. The memo authorizes agents to enter homes with a more narrow administrative warrant to arrest someone with a final order of removal. According to a whistleblower complaint, the memo has been used to train new ICE officers deployed to cities and towns carrying out the president's immigration crackdown. A Homeland Security spokesperson says everyone served with a warrant has had, quote, full due process and a final order of removal.
Revoke the permit!
A Portland City Council meeting was disrupted by protesters last night, calling on the city to revoke the permit for the ICE facility on the south waterfront. Security was asked to escort this person out, and the meeting was moved online. Mayor Keith Wilson says that while he agrees public safety is undermined by the actions of federal agents, the city has to follow a process when it comes to land use approvals and cannot just revoke the ICE permit. Wilson reiterated that he did ask for a pause in all ICE activity in the city until the local Border Patrol shooting could be investigated. Gresham City Council has adopted an emergency declaration calling for federal immigration reform. The resolution directs funds to address food insecurity and to provide utility assistance to families. It also calls for a new community resource page on the city's website to help families impacted by President Trump's immigration policies. Attorneys General from 4 Democratic-led states took part in a Portland town hall last night to break down how they're challenging several Trump administration policies.
A year and a day ago, Trump took office and immediately started breaking the law, and he hasn't stopped. He has been blatant and brazen, consistent and frequent in his lawlessness.
California's AG says his state has won most of the lawsuits they filed against the Trump administration. Minnesota's Attorney General said hearing from the public in town halls has helped bolster their cases.
We need to have evidence for our cases, and I can't tell you how many times I was shocked to hear somebody's testimony about what they were facing.
Oregon sued the federal government 53 times last year with lawsuits over tariffs, birthright citizenship, voter data, and more. Counselors are set to receive their first monthly update from the new city administrator, Raymond Lee, including an update on the art tax. Just over $8 million are being spread across Portland's 6 school districts and charter schools this school year to pay for elementary art teacher salaries. Now, this year is noteworthy when it comes to the arts tax because students who were kindergartners when the money started flowing during the 2013-14 school year are now seniors in high school. Taking a live look outside, courtesy of our Timberline Sky Cam. Take a look at that sunrise, though. It sounds like we might see some more clouds over the forecast today. Let's head over to Rod for a look at that, Rod.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's 40 degrees up there, and if you are going up to the mountain, thanks, guys. It'll be another dry day, and as Matthew mentioned, cloudiness coming in during the afternoon hours. So we're going to see partly cloudy, increasing clouds this morning, and then clouding over, but we will stay dry. I mean, I suppose you could say maybe there's a sprinkle somewhere at the coast. This is Seaside this morning. Already in just the last hour, starting to see some noticeable increasing cloudiness there. 32 looking out over the Pacific waters. The Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood. Looking at Mount Hood, a pretty partly cloudy morning. Big story, the frosty cold again. Look at Battleground, 21. Hillsboro's not far behind at 23. Happy Valley, good morning, 29 is your number. Estacada's at 24, matching Salem. Dallas is at 23. Good morning, Polk County. And here is the afternoon map. It is a dry one, minus maybe a sprinkle along the coast. But clouds coming in will hold you folks to the beach today in the 40s. Coldest day you've seen in a while. And the weather models love the Portland-Salem temperature just getting stuck around 40, 41 for much of the afternoon with the clouds coming overhead. Those clouds will wipe away any clearing potentially out toward Pendleton, the Gorge, and into Central Oregon. Partly cloudy skies out farther to the east. Baker City only 32 this afternoon. So we'll go 44 or maybe cooler in Portland with the clouds coming in this afternoon. We're back to sunshine Friday into the weekend, and then notice the weekend lows back down into that frosty cold zone in the mid-20s for the Rose City. Clouds on Monday, and I've taken Wednesday's rain chance and kicked it down the road to Thursday. It still looks like, Chris, that Sunday will be day 14, and as you know, of no moisture at all. That would be a new record for January's dry stretch. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, that's remarkable. We're into some rare air for sure. All right, let's get you out the door. Quick look at the roads. There's Interstate 84 to the Banfield, westbound coming out of the Hollywood district. We're really starting to tighten up approaching I-5. That said, not bad. 18 minutes gets you in from Troutdale. Probably our biggest slow spot now is the I-5 South commute, approaching the Interstate Bridge. This is live at SR 14. From there, 1.5 miles or 2 miles down the road past the Expo Center, the headlights there, that's the southbound commute. So certainly tightening up on that side of town. 15 minutes gets you in from Main Street South to the Fremont Bridge. Speaking of bridges, the early heads up on a bridge closure next week, Monday night, I-205. The Abernathy Bridge will be closed from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. Tuesday so that ODOT can complete that sign bridge installation, all part of the I-205 Abernathy Bridge seismic retrofitting project. The detours around that 99E, Highway 43, and I-5. We send it live out to the Moda Center with Thomas Schultz.
Well, Chris, you know it well. We've been waiting more than 20 years to bring the Portland Fire back in town, and now they're here and recently released a schedule, bringing in 2 special guests to do so. I'll tell you all about it coming up next as sunrise rolls on.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, the Seahawks are now 1 win away from the Super Bowl, but before then, we're looking toward Sunday's NFC Championship game. Now, Seattle is riding an 8-game win streak. They've also won 12 out of their last 13 games overall, with their last loss being 2 months ago against the Rams. Here's how that loss back in November has impacted the team.
It really came into focus about what type of team we could be, and that we have a special group that was resilient as heck and had each other's backs, and we're going to stick up for each other and fight like heck for 60 minutes and really becoming the team that we wanted to be. We started to have some real evidence of it, even though it wasn't really the outcome that we wanted. So kind of glad that it happened.
Analysts say the Rams and Seahawks are evenly matched, and here's why. They split their regular season matchups with a differential of just 1 point and a single yard difference. Seattle is the slight favorite on Sunday, with the kickoff set for 3:30.
It is time to mark your calendar because the schedule has dropped for the inaugural season of the Portland Fire.
Very exciting stuff. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live outside the Moda Center. All right, Thomas, how's that schedule looking?
Oh yeah, Matthew China, it's looking good. First game for the Portland Fire back here in town in more than 20 years. It's going to be on May 9th against the Chicago Sky. And maybe to make this even a little bit cooler, Portland Fire brought in a couple special guests on their Instagram to make the announcement.
Did you hear?
I have.
Did you hear?
Did you hear?
Did you hear?
Did you hear?
Here.
Oyster?
Did you
Here.
hear? Look at
Did you
me.
hear? Did you
Look
hear?
at me.
Did you hear?
Hi, Sonia. Hey, guys. Did you hear? The Portland Fire WNBA team is coming back this season.
What do you mean? They haven't been a team since 2002.
Yeah, they coming back. 2026 is their debut season.
That's awesome. Portland Fire reignited. Should we get season tickets?
Yeah.
All right. I wonder when they're going to announce the schedule for next season.
Yeah, so that is, of course, the stars from Portlandia, Fred Armisen and Carrie Brownstein, helping out the Portland Fire with their announcement as they kick off the revamped team here in Portland. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, guys. When the Portland Fire were here the first go-round from 2000 to 02, they played at the Rose Garden. But in 3 seasons in the league, they were not able to crack a winning record. But hey, new team, new era, right? They'll have some stiff competition in the WNBA. Sabrina Ionescu and the New York Liberty will visit PDX for back-to-back games in May before Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever roll into town at the end of that month, followed by Cameron Brink making a homecoming as well on August 2nd with the LA Sparks. And look, there's some big names coming. There's also some big rivalries that'll be here with the Fire. They'll play Seattle 4 times. Overall, they'll have 44 games, including 22 right behind us here at the Moda Center and bright and early this Thursday morning. What a pretty view we got out here, right, guys? Now, for anybody looking for tickets, easiest way to get them, just go to the WNBA's website, toggle over to the Portland Fire homepage. You can find those tickets all right there. China, Matthew.
All right, going to be very exciting. Get those tickets quickly.
Yeah. You know, if you haven't watched the WNBA, to me, the referees really let them play. It is a very physical brand of basketball.
It's a fun league. And back in my home of Ohio, they were bringing back the Cleveland Rockers. They were announced at the same time as Portland Fire. So there was a lot of excitement there. So we can certainly appreciate that. And
yeah.
Get those tickets quick.
Here. All right, let's go. We're tracking this dry streak, which still looks like it will become a record. Not really a good news record for the water season month of January. But today will become day number 11 of no rain, not even a trace of moisture, nothing. The record is 13 days of not even a trace of moisture in January. That was back in '85. Saturday, we're likely to tie that record. We'll break it on Sunday. And the next likely rain at this point has been pushed all the way back to Thursday or Friday of next week, which would be the 29th or the 30th. That would give us a potential record of 17, maybe even 18 days, which will be blowing the current record out of the water. So, I mean, could we really be pushing almost 3 weeks of consecutive dry days in January? If the forecast doesn't change, the answer is yes. Here's our satellite radar. Now, this is significant because if you're already joining us, when we had the big high pressure ridge that set up the temperature inversion in the east winds, the dry weather, the sunshine, the clouds, the fog in central Oregon, out toward Pendleton and back into the gorge, all of that was brought by that big upper level ridge. When the ridge was in place, it literally blocked cloud flow. We had nothing coming in off the Pacific. But now look at what's happening. The upper level ridge is gone. If you look at a weather map, it's not there anymore. And you can see the clouds coming in. These will not have any moisture in them for us, but they will take away our sunshine this afternoon, and that will lead us to a cooler day that we have been seeing. Here's 9 o'clock showing increasing clouds this morning. Maybe still some sun midday, but then for the most part, the whole afternoon looks to be cloudy, and that holds into the evening. And then current timing would get the clouds out of here by early in the morning. If we clear quickly enough tomorrow morning, then temperatures will do a really quick drop around the sunrise hour. So we could still be potentially frosty in the morning if the clouds get out soon enough. You see the clearing we'll have during the day. Well, here's that low cloud lockdown still in place with low clouds, borderline fog from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, just the stillness out there. 32 degrees. Yesterday, you had another day where you only warmed up a few degrees, and look for that again today. Now, with the temperature inversion breaking today, I believe, you can make the case that you folks out in the Dalles will start to clear, but the problem is you have increasing clouds coming in. So there you go. All right, here's our Oregon Zoo camera, and you can see the light with the early morning sun there in the West Hills coming through the trees. 31 is the temperature. We're 29 out of PDX, 23 now in Kelso, 24 in Salem. Again, a very cold, cold morning. 44 the high or cooler. We get back to sun tomorrow. I like 47 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The cold frosty starts this weekend. As I mentioned a moment ago, a dry 7-day forecast. Here is Chris.
Okay, Rod, you mentioned the, I guess the ever-present low cloud lockdown east of the Cascades. Let's take you there. Now that we're getting a little bit of daylight, the sun's not up yet, but we're brightening up a little bit. I think you get a feel for what it's looked like for day after day after day east of the Cascades. This is US 97 in Jefferson County. Near Juniper Butte, near the Madras area. And you can see it's foggy and the temperature is 23 degrees. And so everything is covered in frost, which means roadways out there are likely quite slick again this morning. Can't see anything on that camera. US 97. This is US 97 near Kent. I bring this up, of course, because the Sherman County School District closed because of icy roads. Also, not sure if this is weather related, but Corbett District reporting a water problem yesterday. So all schools in the Corbett District closed today. All right, the freeway drive, the slowest commute right now is the I-5 South Drive. There's the live look at SR 14, and then you cross the Interstate Bridge, and that's what it looks like through North Portland. So right now we're obviously bunched up there. Also starting to slow a little bit on I-84. 20 minutes gets you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split.
President Trump announcing he had reached the framework for a future deal involving Greenland and security with NATO Secretary General. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with all the latest details on what this means for tensions with major European allies.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Donald Trump is revoking his tariff threats on Europe after he says he's reached the framework of a deal with NATO over Greenland.
This comes as he continues to speak with world leaders today about global conflicts. NBC's Alice Barr has the details.
President Trump continuing his foreign focus today in Davos, Switzerland, with the first meeting of the Board of Peace, formed to oversee reconstruction of Gaza. And now expanding to seek an end to other global conflicts.
This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created.
Dozens of world leaders invited to join, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, though some European allies declined over concerns the board could rival the United Nations, all amid that diplomatic dust-up over Greenland, with President Trump now saying he's reached a framework of a future deal with the NATO Secretary General.
We have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them.
while also saying he won't use military force to take over Greenland, a Danish territory.
People thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force.
And backing off threatened tariffs against Denmark and 7 other European allies that oppose the U.S. acquiring Greenland. That after Europe hit pause on a long-sought trade deal. President Trump has insisted the U.S. needs Greenland for national security. And now the New York Times, citing 3 senior officials, reports that NATO members discussed the possibility of giving the U.S. sovereignty over small pockets of land to build military bases. The U.S. already has a base in Greenland and broad access to establish more under a Cold War agreement. A NATO spokesperson noted the Secretary General did not propose any compromise to sovereignty during his meeting with President Trump. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush. A Texas jury returned a not guilty verdict in the trial of former Uvalde police officer Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez was found not guilty on 29 counts of child abandonment and endangerment stemming from the 2022 mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, that left 19 students and 2 teachers dead. The unanimous verdict came after 7 hours of deliberations, concluding the 2-week trial. People in more than 24 states are preparing for a major winter storm bringing heavy ice and snow. The system could stretch more than 1,500 miles, with more than 90 million people currently under winter storm alerts. Southern states like Texas are bracing for potential power outages, while North and South Carolina have declared states of emergency. And Taylor Swift has been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, making her one of the youngest honorees ever. Swift became eligible this year as her debut song Tim McGraw turned 20. She will be officially inducted with the class of 2026 on June 11th in New York City. And that's your morning rush. We'll have more sunrise after this.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need.
It is 7:29 on your Thursday morning. Let's get a look at the roads. They are busy. I don't have any unusual delays, but it is certainly in the crunch here of the morning commute. Let's go ahead and run down the drive times for you. 24 minutes right now gets you in from Hillsborough on Highway 26. I lost the I-5 drive time, but I can tell you right now it's almost 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Rod?
I liked it better when you had lost the I-5 drive time. Here's our Snookwiz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. The beaches are starting to show increasing cloudiness after what has been a mainly clear night. It's 29 degrees in Lincoln City, and there's the lights from the Tilcomb Crossing, always pretty from the Portland Spirit Landing in downtown Portland. We have calm conditions and frosty conditions. PDX is currently at 29. This is the day that will cloud over this afternoon. That will hold us generally in the low 40s to no warmer than 44. We'll get back to sunshine tomorrow. The forecast is dry through the weekend.
In a surprising new twist, Fleetwood Mac is back on the Billboard Hot 100. Their original song, Landslide, is on the chart for the first time ever. And it comes 50 years after Landslide was released back in 1975. The song's recent popularity is thanks to it being featured in the series finale of Netflix's Stranger Things. If you remember, a similar thing happened to Kate Bush's song Running Up the Hill after it was featured in Stranger Things.
So I think what we get out of this is get your song in Stranger Things,
Yeah,
and then it will be
big. I love
successful.
Fleetwood Mac, but I've never even seen Stranger Things.
I've seen it. I had the Dreams live album. I loved it. Loved it. There's some great songs on the album. Yeah,
absolutely, great band.
That is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
We could be popular in what?
30 years.
30
We'll be
years?
coming
Yeah.
out again, so
Look at us.
exciting.
We got to hang in there. Here's our Salem sky camera showing partly cloudy to still mostly sunny skies in some spots opening up. This is a forecast with increasing clouds, basically expecting a cloudy afternoon. But it has been a clear, cold night into this morning. You see the frost on the grass in front of the state capitol, and it is 24 degrees. It is a big coat morning once again. Now, away from the gorge, we continue to basically see not any wind. Here's the Rose City camera, 29 degrees. Northwest of 5 is the wind out at PDX. Chris McGinnis shared with me, he's got a friend that lives in Camas that said no wind this morning, but across the river, Troutdale has been reporting east winds still blowing to about 31, and those winds could actually start to fade more than that during the day. There's the afternoon clouds. Chris, I have us in the low to about 44 degrees at most this afternoon.
That's cold.
Yeah.
Cold start, cold finish. All right, here's a look at the drive right now. We are just heating up as far as the drive is concerned, and right now the busiest of the commutes, there it is, I-5 from Clark County. It's just shy of 20 minutes now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. The I-205 drive is just fine for now. Interstate 84, taking you about 23 minutes or so to get you in from Troutdale. Rod talked about the low clouds socked in east of the Cascades. There we are, US 97 out near Juniper Butte. This is in the Madras area. Again, another day of fog and freezing fog. And in fact, we'll go up into Wasco County and Sherman County. You can see the frost on the roadways there. Sherman County schools saying too icy to have school today. So no school in Sherman County. Also, guys, I'm not sure if this is weather related, but Corbett schools reporting a water issue. So all Corbett schools are closed today as well. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Authorities are following close to 100 tips as they search for the man they say shot and injured 2 officers Monday night in Northeast Portland. Portland police put a request out to the public for tips and for people in the area to check their Ring or security cameras. Sergeant Kevin Allen told us that detectives are following up on each and every one of those leads.
Somebody out there that's willing to use deadly force against our officers, we're concerned. All of us are. We've really taken this case to heart.
The incident happened near Northeast 17th and Clackamas after officers responded to a call of someone threatening another person with a knife. When the officers got there, the suspect opened fire, hitting them both. He's described as a man in his mid-30s with facial hair, and he's believed to be armed with a knife and gun and was seen with a black backpack and a green shopping bag.
A Southwest Washington coastal town has now fired its fire chief after he was accused of raping and molesting at least 3 children. The city of Ilwaco said that it has ended Jeffrey Archer's employment and appointed an interim chief. Archer was arrested earlier this month after his alleged victims came forward, accusing him of abusing them over several years while he was babysitting at home.
Search and rescue crews are looking for 2 hikers reported missing in the Mount Rainier backcountry. According to social media posts, 35-year-old Ben Watson and 50-year-old Yuri Richter were last believed to be traveling near the Wilson Glacier over the weekend. Officials haven't confirmed their identities. Oregon Democrats are changing course after a successful Republican-led petition has halted a transportation bill worth more than $4 billion.
The legislation was passed last year and would lead to higher taxes. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from North Portland. So, Thomas, what's the latest?
Yeah, well, guys, Oregon Democratic lawmakers now say they want to have a referendum on this transportation package, which they initially passed. That referendum they hope to happen in May. This comes after Republicans gathered around 250,000 signatures to send this legislation instead to voters. But that referendum wasn't anticipated to happen until the November election cycle. Now Democrats are once again changing course. Initially, Governor Tina Kotek planned to repeal the transportation bill, which would provide funding for transportation agencies like ODOT, before she learned of a 1935 opinion by the then Attorney General here in Oregon that said a governor could not repeal legislation set for a petition. Still, Republicans plan to fight this latest pivot and say Democrats are trying to hide the referendum in an election with lower voter turnout.
Now the majority is playing games with when that vote occurs, because the last thing they want is to have the election on the same ballot, general election ballot, that every Democrat that voted for this is going to share.
And now for the first time, Democratic lawmakers are publicly acknowledging that they don't have the authority to repeal this legislation that they worked very hard to pass in the last session back in August. So instead, this will go to a referendum.
And Thomas, we've been following this saga for a year now, with ODOT saying it's in desperate need of this transportation package. So how big of a hole are they in right now?
Yeah, China, look, ODOT has more than $240 million in a budget deficit. Now, for more than a year, Democrats have been saying, okay, we need this bill to pass in order to prevent mass layoffs, in order to get all these projects that ODOT has planned up and running. Republicans, meanwhile, have been saying ODOT has the funding they need for the basics, basically repairs and infrastructure upgrades. They say ODOT should instead hold off on some of those bigger, more expansive projects that they had in the pipeline. China, Matthew.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that, Thomas. Thank you very much. Now to some upbeat news when it comes to the future of downtown Portland. We're talking about a spike in foot traffic. Joe Rainieri has more.
Downtown Portland has seen its highs and lows over the last several years. Here's another high for the Rose City. There's more foot traffic.
What's more exciting about this year's number is the continued upward trajectory, the growth in visitor foot traffic being substantial and even peaking over 2019 numbers.
A new report from Downtown Portland Clean and Safe found more than 32 million pedestrians visited downtown last year.
We're just about 85% of what we used to be, and while that's not 100% and we're not all the way there, this is huge progress.
Andrew Hone, who's the president and CEO of Portland Metro Chamber, says this past summer was the busiest for foot traffic since before the pandemic. Governor Tina Kotek said, "This data tells us what anyone who has visited downtown lately already knows. Portland has a renewed vibrance and vitality." So how are these numbers tracked? The city uses an app called Placer.ai, which can track your location through your phone.
So we really draw a line around the core of downtown, including Old Town, and we're able to figure out who's coming and going, how long they're staying here, and gives us a sense of the sort of activities they're participating in.
Seeing 2 million more people along these streets from 2024 is clearly something to celebrate, but Hone wants to see things get better with office workers.
These offices are at historic vacancy rates since Portland had an office market. And we are at 50% of what we used to be in terms of office foot traffic.
He's hoping the next big win will be when these vacant buildings are full again.
Valentine's Day is still more than 3 weeks away, so you still have some time to plan. But one Portland nonprofit is making sure in advance that senior citizens will get to feel the love this holiday.
Everybody needs some love. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live with the details. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Matthew, China. That's right. The nonprofit Positive Charge PDX, based here in Portland, is set to host a community-wide event. It's called Valentine's for Seniors, and it's set to happen this Saturday. Now, the group's mission is to amplify kindness. The initiative encourages people of all ages to help create handmade Valentine's cards that will then be handed out to local seniors through Meals on Wheels across the Portland metro area. Now, the effort is a way to help those impacted by isolation during the winter months. And the event is in its 5th year. Organizers say it's a project that's garnered a lot of support, though. Last year alone, more than 2,100 cards were delivered. And we spoke with organizers during a card-making event on Monday in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
It absolutely makes a difference. It puts such a smile on faces of these people that many of them are pretty shut in their homes and don't get out and may not have people coming to see them.
Now, if you are interested in going to that event, it's set to happen this Saturday at Greater Portland Bible Church from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. If you're not able to attend that, the group Positive Charge PDX, they have drop-off locations to drop off your letters at different places. You can check their website for those details. But if you want to head to that event this weekend in person, make sure to RSVP because spaces are limited. Back to you.
Our Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Corey. Headed over to Rod Hill now for a look at weather. So a reminder for you boys, Valentine's Day is in a few weeks.
Yes.
Rod, are you ready?
Lock it in.
Yes.
Plan it out.
Matthew, I like a Snickers candy bar. What would you like?
Do more than that.
I'll make a note of that here, Rod. Thank you.
Okay. Here's our Vancouver, the Springs of the Waterfront camera. Looking at the Columbia River, a really pretty, we'll call it a partly cloudy morning. It is very cold and frosty out there once again across the valley. 22 degrees at Pearson Airfield right now. For some of you, this is in fact the coldest morning we have had so far this week. Downtown Portland's holding at 33. We do have just a touch of east wind coming into the downtown area. That adds a bit of a chill, of course. It's 23 out in Hillsboro, but 34 at Troutdale, where winds have still been gusting up to about 30 miles per hour from the east this morning. Salem's at 24, and good morning, Lynn County. Albany is at 25. Speaking of Snickers, here we go. Snickers is our pet of the day at KGW.com. I'm told this is a ball python. So whatever you have as a pet, send us the photo to that email address and we'll get your pet on our show. Weather map today is a dry one, minus maybe incoming cloudiness, which will cloud us over this afternoon. Will be thick enough for some sprinkles at the coast. Other than that, there's no moisture chance. Only 40s at the beach, and this shows clouds thick enough to hold Portland, Salem, and Albany all at 40 in the so-called heat of the afternoon with the clouds coming in. Partly cloudy skies out farther to the east today. Here's the 7-day. It is all dry because I've taken Wednesday's rain chance and pushed it back to Thursday. So clouding up this afternoon, we'll be back to sunshine tomorrow, the dry weekend. And look at the cold, frosty starts yet to come, 26 on Saturday and on Sunday morning. Here's Chris.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. Just getting word of a possible injury crash right now in northeast Portland near 138th and Marine Drive. Number of emergency responders on the scene there. Be on the lookout for them. Give them some space, of course. Alternate routes include Airport Way and, well, Sandy Boulevard, right? The freeway drive is certainly getting busier across town. There's I-5 through North Portland. Slow and steady coming off the Interstate Bridge. Right now, we're looking at about 20 minutes now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. There's a live look at the sunset, all three lanes coming down the hill from Sylvan. That's pretty tight as well. That drive has spiked up to nearly 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsboro. And I want to let you know about this. Coming up next week, Monday night, the I-205 Abernathy Bridge will close for about 6 hours from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. Tuesday as ODOT continues working on that sign bridge installation between Oregon City and Westland. That closure means that you'll need to take 99E, Highway 43 or I-5. Matthew, local traffic, of course, can use the Arch Bridge. Back to you.
Certainly could. All right, thank you very much, Chris. Well, coming up, a piece of Marvel movie history could be yours. How you can get your hands on this Avengers car. Plus, Lego has a new Golden Retriever with more than 2,000 pieces. Your consumer headlines coming up when Sunrise Streaming Live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
The number of Americans worried about their debt is soaring to levels that haven't been seen since the pandemic. And as LendingTree reports, managing that debt and your credit may matter now more than ever. Karen Kafa explains.
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York found Americans haven't been this anxious about missing debt payments since the early shock of the COVID-19 pandemic in April 2020. Consumers still feeling squeezed by elevated post-pandemic inflation and debt that came with it.
It is a challenging time, but it's important for people to understand that they have more power over their money and over their interest rates than they think they do.
LendingTree recently analyzed records of 100,000 users with exceptional credit scores of at least 800. They found those consumers averaged $171,553 in debt, including mortgages, up 14.2% from October 2022. Despite taking on a bigger burden than a few years ago, those borrowers paid their bills on time every month. They kept credit utilizations low, averaging just 5.5% of available credit, and limited inquiries for new credit, averaging just 1.7 over the past 2 years. All key elements, Matt Schultz, LendingTree's chief consumer finance analyst, says, leading to a higher credit score.
It doesn't even have to be perfect credit. It doesn't have to be an 800 credit score for you to basically have an awful lot of options when it comes to credit cards, mortgages, personal loans on down the line.
And in an uncertain labor market, improving a credit score could improve chances of a job or promotion. Only 11 states have laws on the books prohibiting the use of credit reports when making employment decisions, with exceptions for some roles. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Now for a look at your consumer headlines. Apple may be developing a wearable AI device. Reports say that it would be a pin about the same size as an AirTag that users can wear on their clothes. It would come with 2 cameras for pictures and videos, 3 microphones, a physical button, speaker, and a Fitbit-like charging strip on the back. The pin could potentially be launched as soon as next year. All right, here's a chance to own a piece of Marvel movie history. Tony Stark's custom Acura NSX Roadster, driven by Robert Downey Jr. in the Avengers, is heading to auction. The one-of-a-kind car, verified by Acura, still has its Stark 33 plate and will be sold through Cars and Bids. Proceeds will benefit a charity chosen by the winner. And Lego is rolling out a new Golden Retriever puppy set, and fans are already pre-ordering. Sorry, I'm trying to look at it here. Oh.
You love this, don't you?
The tongue. Nice.
It's so accurate.
This set has more than 2,100 pieces, stands nearly 8 foot tall, and is designed for adult builders. Lego says that the earliest shipping date is February 1st. It will cost you $140.
Not cheap. Some exciting news into the newsroom. 2 Oregonians have been selected to represent the U.S. Hydro Flask snowboard team in the Milan Cortina Olympics. It will be Alessandro Barbieri's first Olympics. He comes from Portland, and apparently he speaks Italian. And Sean Fitzsimmons from Hood River is heading to his second Olympics. Congratulations to both of them. Always exciting to have local flavor to keep an eye on in the Olympics.
Yes, I don't know where they train, but it hasn't been a great
no, I was
team
going to say it's not been a
locally
good
in our
time.
world,
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, of course, we do a great job every Olympics, and we will this year too, of following all of our local athletes and keeping you updated and telling you their stories. Our satellite picture, here it is. Don't worry about these. They're way out. They're not going anywhere. But this batch of clouds here is coming through during the day today. Doesn't look like we're going to get any moisture out of these clouds, but we will lose the sun, and that will keep us cooler this afternoon. Now, radar beam is hitting these droplets way up high, so no reason to think that this is really reaching the ground. At most, there would be some traces of rain maybe along the coast later this afternoon. Futurecast doesn't really show even that. It does show, here we are at 1 o'clock, morning sun quickly disappearing, clouding over this afternoon, staying cloudy this evening. And then this is key for the morning low temperatures. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if we're clear by, let's say, 6 in the morning even, we would have temperatures really quickly dropping off and getting frosty in a hurry tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will go on to be sunny, and that sets the stage for dry and sunny weather this upcoming weekend. We're still watching the winds out of the gorge. They are calmer this morning. The peak wind gust yesterday at Troutdale was 40 miles per hour, but that was the calmest in about 5 days out there. East winds currently sustained at 18. Here come the wind gust at Troutdale to 28. And I shared a moment ago that Chris got a message from a buddy of his that lives in Camas on the other side of the river from Troutdale saying, hey, it's the first morning in a while there's not a breath of wind. So the east wind is really interesting. The ribbons that can be really narrow of who gets that wind and who doesn't. I would tell you the winds at Lincoln High School are moving thanks to an east wind this morning here in downtown Portland. This is Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City showing the increasing cloud cover. It is 29 degrees. Look at the frost on the grass out over the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha. And is that water frozen? Is it moving? I guess it's moving a little bit. Yeah, 29 degrees. It's cold. Here are the temperatures. 23, speaking of, up in Kelso. It's freezing out in the Dalles, 21 in Bend, and in the teens now in both John Day and Burns down to 17. So we have the cold frosty start, which all of a sudden we're used to. What we're not used to is not having the sun all day. We will have the clouds take that away this afternoon. That will hold us in the low 40s for high temperatures. Similar setup in southwest Washington today. East winds near the gorge, 15 to 25. Generally expecting gusts no higher than about 30. And you could make the argument that the winds even continue to ease somewhat during the afternoon coming out of the gorge. Here's the dry 7-day. Clouding up today, 44, back to sun tomorrow. A sunny weekend with the cold frosty mornings. A cloudy Monday, but I think we stay dry. And then move Wednesday's rain chance into Thursday. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert in Clark County. I-5 southbound, just south of the battleground area. We've got a crash near 199th Street. This is the snapshot from WashDOT's website here at Carty Road. You can see that the southbound drive is starting to stack up here. We've got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles of pretty thick, slow-moving traffic. The freeway is open, but obviously it's just moving kind of slow through that stretch. A little farther south, of course, in North Portland, the I-5 commute tightens up again once you cross the Interstate Bridge. And right now we're looking at about 21 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Over on the west side, Sunset, again, continues to be slow and go from Sylvan. 31 minutes now. You're driving from Hillsborough to downtown. Matthew?
All right. Thank you, Chris. Well, the state of Washington hitting a historic milestone as the number of organ donors hits a record high. Coming up, we'll hear from one mom who says her daughter's generosity ended up saving 6 lives. Don't go anywhere. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Two of Oregon's longest-serving adoption agencies have now merged. Portland-based Boys and Girls Aid and Open Adoption and Family Services says declining birth rates and a change of adoption landscape is making it more difficult for families looking to adopt. The merger aims to maintain the connection between adoptive families and kids' birth families. And with fewer adoption placements happening today, advocates are warning of new risks.
I think with that discrepancy in there being far more people hoping to adopt than placements happening, there's just there's a growing vulnerability that people are going to be taken advantage of. People are paying high sums of money to try to procure an adoption plan.
Meanwhile, Oregon donors in the state of Washington have saved hundreds of lives last year, marking a historic milestone. In 2025, Life Center Northwest reported 337 donors provided more than 1,000 organs, saving 930 lives, the most in the organization's 28-year history. Seattle resident Gina Allenbach knows how powerful that gift can be. Her 15-year-old daughter registered as an organ donor when she received her driver's permit. She died tragically just a few months later. Jean says her daughter's life-saving generosity remains an important part of her legacy.
Her life, when it was going on, to have meaning. And that was really kept me going, knowing that you know, she was saving 6 lives.
Now Jean works to raise awareness for the more than 1,600 Washington patients currently waiting for transplants.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with Portland Fire's Uniquely Portland 2026 schedule announcement.
How you can get tickets and how long you have before opening night's tip-off.